Well, Disney just doesn't get it. I think that we can all agree that they have been making failure after failure after failure throughout 2023, not just box office wise, but also with mismanagement of several different franchises like Marvel, Star Wars, and even just Disney in general with their live action remakes. And we have, of course, a lot of projects looming, such as the Marvels and Snow White 2024 as an example there. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. And let's get right into exactly what's going on with Gina Carano and Disney higher-ups. Now, we know that there's been a lot of back and forth happening between Carano and Disney. And when I say Disney, we're talking about Bob Iger, we're talking about Kathleen Kennedy, who is also associated with Lucasfilm, and how they were really trying to cut a deal to getting Gina Carano to come back as Cara Dune to boost ratings, to get back the desperate fans, and to get more Disney Plus subscribers. They wanted her to come back for several shows. That all fell apart because Gina kept her dignity. She respected herself, and she declined. And I think that was the most brave move on her part, especially coming out of making that hard decision between, catering to the fans and making them happy, or destroying your self-respect, right? And I think that the latter is more important, is that you should really have a lot of self-respect, and she did. So that's where things got a little bit out of hand behind closed doors for Disney now, is that with Disney now in a state of panic, after what happened with Indy 5, the Snow White backlash, Elemental, and more, one major development has to do with actress Gina Carano. Now, after she reportedly refused to return to Mando Season 4, Dave Filoni's movie, Skeleton Crew Season 2, and Rangers of the New Republic getting revived, and more. An ongoing project that Disney has been creating is a special edition for The Mandalorian Season 2, set to drop by the end of 2024, that will feature deleted scenes and a redesigned Luke Skywalker that will be enhanced, much like how he appeared in the Book of Boba Fett. However, one development is that Gina Carano refused to return and did not accept, and Iger and Kennedy's deal fell apart. They are now moving forward with removing Cara Dune, portrayed by Gina Carano, and her scenes from the special edition of Mando Season 2. This will involve her current scenes in the final cut, as well as throwing away her deleted sequences with Luke Skywalker from ever appearing or seeing the light of day in this new edition that they are beginning to edit in the coming weeks. The plan was that if Gina accepted her role as Cara Dune to return in the new projects, they were going to move ahead with keeping Gina in the special edition for Mando Season 2. So let me stop here quick. The problem that I have with this is that this is another prime example and proof that Disney just does not care about the core audience, nor do they care about the people that they have hired before in the past. And it just goes to show you how two-faced Disney really is and has become over the years. First things first, they wanted to hire Gina back for all those projects that I mentioned beforehand, just to get a ratings boost, just to get more Disney Plus subscribers, and to fulfill quote-unquote desperate fans that wanted Cara Dune to come back. They were banking on that, and they were banking on Gina accepting that, and to their surprise, she defended herself and declined. And basically this comes across like Disney saying, if you're not going to fulfill our needs, we're not going to fulfill your needs then. And they moved ahead with removing her from this new special edition of Mando Season 2, which, by the way, the main purpose behind this is to kind of patch things up with the way that Luke appears at the very end of that season, to make him appear more lifelike, much like how he looks in the Book of Boba Fett, to give him that appearance, so to speak, in Mando Season 2. So that's the main purpose of doing this, but along with that purpose, they figured, alright, let's throw in some deleted scenes of, Cara Dune. If she accepts to go on board of those projects, why not? Also, other deleted scenes revolving around Bo-Katan, Din Djarin, Grogu, etc. all pretty much, giving you 1 hour extra of footage altogether. Now that brings us to the specifics, and this is where things get even more complex, is that, however, since that deal fell apart, both Iger and Kennedy are moving ahead with making the call to removing Carano entirely from the second season altogether. The plan is to actually release an updated version of the show on Disney Plus that's going to extend some of Luke's scenes as well. GINA had actually shot 30 minutes extra of footage that was supposed to be presented that is now getting scrapped from this new edition. Footage that now Disney wants to keep on lockdown to never see the light of day for fans. This was just recently finalized by Lucasfilm and is going to be an attempt in 2024 to attract more subscribers to fill in the gaps or the delay for The Mandalorian Season 4 due to the strikes and Favreau rewriting the script for the show as demanded by Disney. So basically, guys, this is a strategy by Disney to fill in the waiting room for The Mandalorian Season 4, which, by the way, at this point, it's not going to be dropping until 2025, quarter 2 of that year at the earliest, by the way. Even Favreau kind of talked about that, on how it is going to have a massive delay, not just because of the strikes, but because Disney wants changes. Either for better or worse, we don't know. We'll talk more about that later down the road throughout the remainder of this year. But this just goes to show you that it really just goes to tell you the true colors of Disney and what they're really all about, and especially what Kathleen Kennedy's all about. They really, wanted to get this thing, this deal to be provided to the fans to just boost ratings. And that just goes to show you how much trouble Disney really is in right now with Star Wars. And I've said this multiple times, I know. AHSOKA is going to be a make or break series. And Dave Filoni is already beginning to get very defensive and a little bit angered over the skeptics and people being very critical over the show because it's an all-female led cast. And look, I can't stress this enough. I've said this multiple times. I'm not against female-led characters. What I am against are forced agendas where the female-led characters actually deliver cringy dialogue, cringy performances, and just insufferable attitudes. That's when it gets really out of hand. And that's something that we have seen with Brie Larson. It's something that we have seen with Phoebe Waller-Bridge. And let's hope it's something that we don't see in the years to come with many other Hollywood, projects out there, be it movies or shows. We're hoping for a turn of the tide to actually take its course, progressively speaking, and it's going to be quite an interesting ride to see how that all plays out in the next 3 or so years, at minimum. So look, like I said before, GINA stood up for herself. I'm glad about that. It's sad and all that Cara Dune's not coming back, but the great news about this is that she kept her own self-respect and dignity and really shoved it in Disney's face. And you know what? I think that's perfection. This is like Johnny Depp level. So, anyway guys, drop a comment below, fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.